OTOFIX or AUTOFIX. I'm going to go with AUTOFIX. I think it's maybe a play on words anyway. But this is the D1 scan tool from AUTOFIX, and it's all over the place in their material as well as even on the back of the tablet here. It's powered by AUTEL, so I'm not sure kind of the business reasoning for it not being AUTEL, but they have not stopped short of claiming it about everywhere you look, powered by AUTEL, but it's not an AUTEL tablet, it's an AUTOFIX tablet. A very thin Android tablet, but it's very light and handy. Power up here. Now I have already set it up. I will tell you, setup was pretty much a breeze. I think there was about 50 updates I had to do, but other than kind of the main tablet update, the rest of them were very, very quick, depending on how quick your internet is. And you don't have to run all the updates. A lot of the updates are just the individual brands, if you will, of cars, or individual makes of cars. So you see GM, Aston Martin, BMW. So you don't have to update all of those, but I did just because it showed 41 updates still on there, so I wanted that cleared off. So I ran all the updates. But anyway, very easy to power this up and get right into the interface. If I wanted to go to the Android home, you see I've got an Android home there, but the regular home takes us to the diagnostic scanner homepage, which is great. Again, we're using this as a scanner first and a tablet second if we want to. And we'll get to using this really quickly as well, but just wanted to go over a couple of things. So this is the case it comes in, which I gotta say, not bad at all. Let me power that down. I like the strap in there. It keeps it kind of secure from anything banging around or what have you. And then you have a Bluetooth dongle here. So this is going to connect Bluetooth. You can also, it comes with this connector here. Does not come with any of the other parallel wires, but you can plug this directly into the Bluetooth dongle and then be able to wire it to your actual tablet if you want to go that route. Also, you can connect to other testers as well. So it comes with these things, the Bluetooth dongle, this cable, as well as the power cord or the power block, and a USB Type-C cable. And it's going to communicate and charge via that USB Type-C. Other than Bluetooth, it'll communicate that way. Really clean looking unit. You see a camera there on the back. Looks like a light as well. Other than that, really nothing else on this other than the power button, and then you can flip this little lid right here open, and then you've got access to two USB Type-C ports and then a micro SD card slot. One of these ports is for communication and the other one is for charging, and you see a little battery symbol here and the USB symbol right there. But I like the fact that you can cover that up when not in use, and if you're using the Bluetooth dongle, really you don't have to have that open unless you're charging. Power up, just hold the power button down. If it has been powered off, you may have to hold that on. Other than that, typical Android tablet fashion here. So if I wanted to see the settings, I could go into settings here and then go into settings right there. So I can go in the Android side of things, or if I want to go into the scanner here and then scroll through the different options. This is a bi-directional scanner and many hot functions, as well as like 140 different manufacturers that are supported. Let's go ahead and throw this on something and start looking at the interface. We'll go ahead and plug our dongle in. There we go. We're here in a mid to late 2000s GM truck SUV. This happens to be an Avalanche, but it'd be the same Silverado, your Sierras, Suburbans, Tahoes, Yukons. All of those are going to be pretty much the same as far as scanning goes. But anyway, I know this vehicle is going to have probably some codes. In fact, there's some lights on the dash. This vehicle was rolled. I believe there's some airbag sensors that are off, as well as TPMS sensors, things like that. So I don't believe we've ever put a scanner on this. We're going to go ahead and run some codes on it. And we've never hooked this to the Bluetooth dongle. We've turned the tablet on, we've updated the tablet, but we really haven't run any diagnostics. So I'm going to go here. I believe it's the VCI down here where it has an X. They have VC, Maxi. I'm assuming that's it. So maybe, again, I've read no directions either. So you're riding with me here. Pairing. Hey, there we go. So now we're connected. Now we've got a little green bubble down there instead of the red X. I have new VCI software for update and you must upgrade it. Okay, so we will say okay. So more updates need to be done. You could update now. Okay, so reboot your VCI to complete update. Okay. Go back to VCI, say connecting. I'm assuming rebooting is just connecting and disconnecting. So now there we go, we're connected. Your software is up to date. Okay, so we're good now. So now we're connected, which by the way, if we fast forwarded through that, that may have taken 90 seconds. That was not a slow update at all. It took a few seconds, but again, probably a whole thing start to finish, a minute and a half, but not a long term thing, not at all. So I'm going to click here and we're going to pair again. Okay, now we're connected. Again, we got the green bubble there and we should be good to go. Okay, that's not hooked up. Okay, so we'll go back to our home screen. So now we know we're connected to the Bluetooth device and we want to go here and go to Diagnostics. So you see it's pulling the VIN, Chevrolet GM. And accept. Enter VIN manually or tap read to acquire VN. I'm going to say OK. By the way, we're doing everything real time now, so I'm not speeding through any of this. And it's an Avalanche automatic HVAC. And there we go. Yeah, 5.3, 4x2. Yes. Okay, we're good. Which, by the way, when the Bluetooth is connected, you get a big blue light there on the VCI as well as the green light. Okay, so we have hot functions. We got diagnosis. Go to diagnosis. Let's go to auto scan. So apparently, so now it looks like it's going through all the whole system list here of all the different modules. So body control module, transmission module, PCM, you name it. Yeah, there we go. Supplemental inflated. I knew we were going to have some faults there. It's running pretty fast as well, and gives us a status there at 40% done. And again, this is all real time that we're going through this, so bear with us. But I do want to give you a sense of how long it takes. So we're 66%, getting close, 70%. People want to know all the time why their batteries fail so often, it feels like, and just look at the amount of modules, and this is a 15-year-old vehicle, and look at the amount of modules that are on this vehicle that's continually tapping into your battery. Anyway, so there's our fault. So it looks like, yeah, okay. So we've got ECM, so let's see what's on the ECM. Okay, trouble codes, read codes. Thought we just read those. Engine oil pressure, sensor performance. That oil pressure sensor is a common failure on these 5.3 LSs, or really many of the LSs. So anyway, so that's that code. Let's back out of here, I guess. And then go to the supplemental. And trouble codes, read codes. I wish that, since it looks like it already read the codes, why it wouldn't just give us the codes, and it looks like it's rereading, but maybe not. Maybe it's just pulling these up. So driver seat belt, tensioner, deployment loop open. So again, that's that rollover. It did fire all the front seat belt. Well, it probably fired all the seat belts as well as the side airbags deployed, and I believe I don't believe the front airbag deployed, but I know the side rails did. So that's probably, yeah, left roof rail, passenger seat belt, right roof rail. Yeah, so all of these are to do with airbag deployment and your seat belt. So all to do with the rollover, which, by the way, if you didn't know, there's a sensor that sits underneath. I believe this is on a lot of vehicles, but definitely on your GM SUVs. Underneath the console, there is a sensor that if it goes to a certain angle, it will automatically deploy those side airbags. And that's what happened in this situation. Very slow rollover, but we did have a rollover. Okay, so we're going to back out. I'm assuming that's the right way to do this. And so memory seat, door switch. Is that going to rescan everything? So it looks like I backed out too far. Okay, we're going to go ahead and let's go ahead and pause that. And we'll back out. Back out again. Let's go into hot functions. And so we can do a brake bleed. We can program keys. Injector. Let's go to injector. Engine control module, fuel injector balance. Make sure all fuel lines are connected. Connect fuel pressure gauge to the end of the fuel line. Each fuel injector per gauge flowed. So we're not going to do that right now. We'll cancel out of that. But that's cool that we can test our injectors. Change tire size. Remote controlled door lock receiver under change tire size. Well, that's just wonderful. Tire type, pressure, and selection. Okay, again, we're going to cancel out of that. Oil reset, I do need to do that, so let's go into here. Oil reset, oil life reset. So input value, and then I can put, so now I can type in 100. I have to delete the 0, 100, enter, okay. Now our oil life's back to 100%. Good thing that we just changed the oil in this, so now we're actually legit. So obviously oil life, that's not a big deal. We can do that manually. So several different hot functions that we can do. We can also do a battery test, but you do need the battery test connector that adds to this to be able to do that. Go into Maxi Tools. So apparently you can log errors and so forth. We can go into support. And by the way, you'll log on here with your AUTEL account. If not, you can set that up when you're setting up this tablet initially. Very easy to do. All your settings. Go to service. Running. Click ahead in this matter. By the way, up here on the right hand side it says VCI, and then it has a battery. That's showing the voltage input from the Bluetooth, so from the vehicle, and it's fluctuating between 14.4 and 14.5 volts. Obviously that's what our alternator is putting out, so we know that's good. So that's pretty cool. It looks like up here, these are all hot buttons that take you directly. If I wanted to print something, it'll print. If I want to go to settings, I can touch that. And so from anywhere, you have that ability now. If I wanted to manually go to the home screen, I can do that. Or obviously, I can touch down here to the home screen. So if I go into Diagnosis and then I go to Control Unit, now I can go into the individual modules. I can go into Fuel Pump Control Module, Live Data, see my 5-volt reference. I can see my ignition signal, fuel rail pressure, fuel pump command is on, short-term fuel pump trim, long-term fuel pump trim. We can also record all that. If I want to see it on the graph, we can see it there. Go back to our list, can record it, freeze it, clear data if I wanted to. Okay. Control module, live data, misfire. I can look at misfire information. So this is all our current misfire. And I can see I have 0 there. But if I were having an issue, I could look at those. Can I filter to this, just those? Show selected, there we go. So now it's only showing those. And then if I want to graph that, so I can only graph a maximum of 5. I'm going to choose those 4. And I can see we have 0 misfires. O2 sensor. So before and after on number 1 and before and after on number 2. And you can read the millivolts fluctuating from 800 down to 100 or so. Staying up there somewhere around that 800 range, 790 range. You can see my throttle position changing as I rev it up. So a lot of great data on this little guy. Impressed so far. So definitely want to dig in a little more. Obviously we could utilize the camera, utilize the screen recordings, and then we can also go into, once we diagnose something. So if I wanted to go into the engine fault, trouble codes, read codes. So if I wanted to search this, so it'll search Google. I can see everything related to oil pressure sensor codes. Touch on one more thing here. I'm going to go into update, and just so you're going to get 2 years of updates with this, and then you can also, looks like $219 to renew, but you can see that I'm valid until 5/19/2025. So I'm good until then, but then updating this is only a couple of $100, so it's not $1,000 every time you want to update all that data. But like I said, you get 2 years of updates when you sign up or when you buy the tablet. We can also do active tests, special function, set up new sensing and diagnostic module. That's interesting, so I didn't realize we could do that. So if we had a new module, traditional enough, so it's basically telling us how to set up the new diagnostic module. Lots of cool stuff.